breaking story just moments ago, the Supreme Court and this landmark ruling, the court making same-sex marriage legal in this country across every state in this nation. Going into today, 37 states in Washington, D.C., 13 states illegal, but those 37 states had same-sex marriage, and now that will change in all 50 states.
So we consider ourselves to have been married twice in some ways, because we got married through a commitment ceremony in 1995 before marriage was legal, before gay marriage was legal. So we went ahead and did our own, sort of being married in front of all our friends and family, and that was in 1995, so that's 23 years ago. Mm-hmm. And then we were legally married in 2004 when marriage was legalized in Massachusetts. But we didn't get married right away in May when marriage was legalized. We waited until December, 2 days after our original commitment ceremony.
We had been together for 10 years, and we got married in 2005. The first thing we had to do to even bring the case at all was to try and apply for a marriage license. So we got the health tests and went down to the Department of Public Health, and I was terrified and thought we were going to get arrested. Julie was convinced we were just going to get one. So we got up to the window, and the woman, we said, "We're here for a marriage license," and the woman said, "Where are the grooms?" We said, "There are no grooms, just brides." And she said, "I need the grooms." And so we had to go through this whole rigmarole.
Several thousand protesters have marched in Washington against same-sex marriage as the U.S. Supreme Court prepares to hear arguments on the divisive issue on Tuesday. The decision rests on whether same-sex couples have a constitutional right to wed.
Most of the arguments that people use against gay marriage are based on what people think interpretation of scripture says, and a lot of that interpretation of scripture is based on either very thin or scholarship that has been proven to be incorrect.
It's in the Bible and God says so. It's between a man and a woman, and the Supreme Court has no authority to even redefine it, even talk about it. It's not in their authority at all.
Our being married doesn't take anything away from their being married. They're not any less married because we are.
I think that they are frightened of anything that's not, in their view, fundamental Christian belief. Now, if you push on that a little bit, the whole NFL would be out of bounds because they wear mixed fibers, they touch pig skin, I mean, it's ridiculous. But it was always hard for me to understand what their arguments were and why they were so personally threatened. And a lot of the argument, or another angle they took, was it destroys the sanctity of my marriage, my heterosexual marriage. How? We're not taking any, so it's as though there's a pie, and if you let gay people have a piece of the pie, you're going to have less or something. And it was very bizarre to me about how if I marry Julie, that hurts, Joe and Mary next door. It made their marriage less. I actually never understood it. What motivated us to take the case was the fact that Julie and I had a daughter who was 4 years old, and at one point we were putting her to sleep and said, we were singing Beatles songs, and they were all about love. And I said to her, "Well, who loves each other?" And she started to name all the couples, and we noticed they were all heterosexual couples. It was Jamie and Gail and Billy and Lynn. And I said, "What about Ma and Mommy?" And she said, "You don't love each other. If you loved each other, you'd be married." And Julie and I, of course, had thought about the issue of marriage, but it seemed like so far off. But that was definitely a motivating factor. The way we've constructed marriage and family life here, which you can argue is not healthy, and that's a valid argument, But it's the best thing we have right now. It's access to health care, access to thousands of benefits and Social Security and all of that. Why would we be denied that? Why is our love different?
I remember feeling like it finally gave us a common vocabulary with other people we knew, so until that day, our family and friends were supportive and loved us and loved you and all of that, but when gay marriage became legal, then it put everybody on the same level playing field. Finally have the state legally recognize something that we had understood to be important. It felt validating, and it felt like it gave it more universal standing.
I was ecstatic. At that point, I had had 3 children with my soon-to-be wife. We had been together for 10 years. And we got married in 2005.
I don't need anybody to accept me. Like, what other people think about me is none of my business, right? They don't have to accept me. They do have to respect me and respect my life and respect my family and treat me with the dignity that I have coming to me simply because I'm another human being.
LGBT Americans are our colleagues, our teachers, our soldiers, our friends, our loved ones. And they are full and equal citizens and deserve the rights of citizenship. That includes marriage. That's why I support marriage for lesbian and gay couples.